$100 can get you a lot. You can get a dock for your Mac Mini with all the essential ports and an SSD enclosure. And we've got the PULWTOP and the GEWOKLIY. Both come with all that. But one promises faster transfer speeds, while the other focuses on port versatility. So today we're putting them side by side to see how they perform, which one feels more reliable, and which one truly deserves a spot on your desk. Let's get started. At first glance, both docks feel built for the Mac Mini. They match its footprint, color, and that clean aluminum finish. But once you handle them, small differences start to show. The PULWTOP feels a little lighter, but still sturdy. It sits flush with the Mac Mini and keeps a soft rubber base that holds everything in place. And this small concave notch is a nice touch. You can easily reach the power button underneath without lifting anything. Also, we liked how stable it feels on the desk. It doesn't move when we swap cables, and those soft pads at the bottom help a lot. Now, the GEWOKLIY, it's a little larger but more open. It lifts the Mac Mini a little higher, raises almost 1.5 inch, and that space actually keeps things cooler. You can see vents around the sides, and the airflow design feels more deliberate. The aluminum is slightly smoother to the touch, and the stand look gives it more of a workstation vibe. So, in terms of build, both are good, but the PULWTOP feels like it was made to disappear under the Mac Mini. GEWOKLIY looks like something more of a statement piece that also helps with heat. Now once you start plugging things in, that's where you start to feel the differences. Both docks expand the Mac Mini's limited input-output, but the kind of ports they offer and how they perform are not identical. The PULWTOP gives you 3 USB-A 2.0 ports, 2 on the front and 1 at the back. There's also an HDMI port, a 3.5mm audio jack, and a USB-C host port that connects straight to your Mac Mini. It even adds SD and MSD card slots on the front for quick access. The GEWOKLIY also gives you 3 USB-A 2.0 ports and a 3.5mm jack, but there's no SD or micro SD slot and no HDMI port either. That's a big miss, especially since the PULWTOP supports 4K at 60 Hz over HDMI. And the USB 2.0 ports on both feel outdated, though they use them to avoid Wi-Fi interference, and it works. You can plug in your keyboard, mouse, or dongles, but don't expect fast data transfers through those. But the difference comes from the SSD slot and data speed. GEWOKLIY runs through USB 4 at 40 gigabits per second, which lets it handle much faster NVMe drives and supports up to 8 terabytes. Meanwhile, with PULWTOP, you're looking at typical USB-C hub speeds, up to 10 gigabits per second, and supports SSD cards up to 4 terabytes. So if you move big project files or high-res footage daily, that difference is night and day. As for performance, that's what really changes how these docks fit your workflow. The PULWTOP supports an NVMe SSD up to 4 terabytes, while the GEWOKLIY doubles that capacity to 8 terabytes and works with both NVMe and SATA drives. We already talked about that, and you can guess how they compare with their 10 gigabit per second versus 40 gigabit per second ports. But let's see how they actually perform. So, we used a 1 terabyte NVMe on both. The PULWTOP averaged around 2,000 megabytes per second for both read and write, which is actually better than we expected. That's not Thunderbolt level, but it's fast enough for photo and video projects or running virtual machines. On the GEWOKLIY, we saw speeds close to 3,000 megabytes per second. That's the kind of boost you notice right away. You can move a 10 gigabyte file in just seconds, which really streamlines your workflow. We also noticed a difference in temperature. The PULWTOP stays warm under load, while GEWOKLIY's vented design helps release heat more evenly. Of course, you still need to place the thermal pad right when installing the drive. That makes a big difference. We didn't notice any slowdown or drop during use. Since both rely on USB 2.0 for most ports, the wireless signals stay clean, even when several accessories are connected. The GEWOKLIY, with its faster data lines, does show a small dip, just a few percentage points, but nothing that affects browsing or streaming. For most wired setups, it won't matter at all. It's just a negligible difference. something you'd only notice if you're comparing side by side. Once both were set up, we started to notice how they fit into daily use. The PULWTOP almost disappears under the Mac Mini. It feels light, runs quiet, and doesn't add extra cables. You plug one short USB-C to the back, and you're set. It's simple and stays out of the way, which we really liked when keeping a clean desk. GEWOKLIY, on the other hand, feels more hands-on. Since it sits a bit higher, it looks more like part of a workstation than an accessory. But it rewards you with consistent performance. But it falls short on connectivity, like no card slot or HDMI port, so you can't connect with the second monitor through this. So, using them back to back, PULWTOP feels minimal and silent, and reliable, while GEWOKLIY feels more ready for heavier work. Both blend with the Mac Mini nicely, but their personalities are slightly different once you start using them daily. When we look at the price, things get interesting because both sit right around $100. So, the question becomes, what matters more to you, simplicity or capability? Well, on one side, the PULWTOP focuses on simplicity. Its clean design and stable ports, along with 4K 60Hz HDMI, micro SD slots, and a built-in SSD bay, cover most daily tasks. It gives a sense of reliability, especially if you want a setup that works smoothly without any extra hassle. The GEWOKLIY takes a different approach. With faster transfer speeds, larger storage support, and better cooling, it feels built to grow with your workflow. It does take up a bit more desk space, but the trade-off is a system ready to handle more demanding tasks as your needs expand. Here's how we'd put it. The PULWTOP is for anyone who values a neat setup and fewer cables. It's the kind of dock that blends into your workspace and just works every day. On the other hand, GEWOKLIY feels like an upgrade for creators, or anyone who wants faster storage, better cooling, and a setup that packs a bit more power. From a budget standpoint, both sit at the same price and each turns the Mac Mini into something more flexible, more capable, and a lot more desk-friendly. After spending time with them, it's clear that whichever one you choose, your setup will feel noticeably better than before. And that was all. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found it helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more tech news and reviews.